In the opening statement of her romantic novel, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen observed, "It's a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." That was in the early 19th century. 200 years later, we have flipped this statement and assumed that every woman over the age of 20 is in desperate need of a man. It's a stereotype that unleashes the "oh, poor Janet" or "poor Ade" look. It does appear that there is a widespread grand design to make life unnecessarily difficult for people who are not married. You probably have done so recently without giving a thought to it. Although this action is directed at both men and women, it is much more pronounced against young women, particularly in the culture where I come from. Our society makes it look as if an unmarried lady has a problem. The approach includes the subtle pseudo-religious "it is well, I'm praying for you" phrases, or the pained "I feel for you" look. Sometimes it is much more aggressive. When are you getting married? Do you have a steady boyfriend? When are you settling down? If you don't package yourself very well, you may miss the boat, etc. As we all know, the phrase "it is well" is a popular euphemism for desperate situations in our community. It has become our own version of Houston, there's a problem. In today's episode of Mind the Gap, we're going to look at how to reverse this trend and stop the pressure on single people. Let's do it. Welcome to Mind the Gap, where we look at social skills, business skills, and life skills. My name is Benga.
And my name is Tinuke. Hello.
So, Tinuke, what do you think about all this pressure on single people?
Well, pressure to get married, usually from parents.
Yeah.
It comes from all sorts of people, but with parents, you kind of tend to understand that they just want the best for you, so they pressure you to do anything you're supposed to do.
I suppose it's in the DNA of parents to pressure their children regarding everything about school, about whatever.
So education and buy a house or whatever, it tends to come from parents. So marriage just happens to be one of them. I don't know if that makes it any easier on the people who are facing the pressure, because sometimes you get it from parents, from church members, from family,
from friends, from colleagues, and
at work sometimes, from anybody really.
And that's when it becomes really, really toxic, isn't it?
Yes, it can be, because five different people in 1 week are asking you why you're not married, or where's your boyfriend, or whichever way they phrase the same question can put you under a bit of pressure.
And sometimes it's directed at young men as well, because they also feel that sometimes once you get a job, as a young person, you are now working, the next thing must be to sign the dotted line.
And you're a certain age, so just get on with it, basically. So not just women, but also men
as well, although we do know that it's mostly directed at...
Mostly at women, yes. I feel, mostly directed at women, because the belief is that a man can just go out there anytime he's ready and pick a lady off the streets. and
if it's that easy. It wasn't that easy for me.
And that's it, it's done. Yeah, it wasn't, because I didn't make it easy for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but for a lady, we believe it's, they have to wait, somebody has to approach them. So we feel it's harder for them, and I think that's probably why we put more pressure on them to say, okay, just find somebody at all costs.
And sometimes what that does to people is to get them, the pressure can be so huge that people will date someone they know they should not even in the first place be talking to or dating at all, let alone getting married to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, beliefs, we have all kinds of beliefs in our culture. So some people believe if you're not married, you're jinxed, you're cursed. So nobody wants to be seen as cursed or jinxed, so sometimes you just go with whoever's come, even though deep in your heart you know this is not the right person for you. Yeah.
And it's often the case that the people that are pressuring, they sometimes they may mean well, actually, but it's just that it's still not acceptable. You may mean well, but you're putting so much pressure on people that may affect them in some way or the other.
Yes. And I also think sometimes people can be taken advantage of because we know that they're desperate, or we've made them feel they're desperate, even though they may not be desperate. So I don't know if some of the people who put the pressure are doing it so that they can easily take advantage of young ladies in particular. So that can be, and particularly when a young lady is 23, she's 25, 27.
People start to think, oh, you should be married by now.
Yes, and we just pile it on.
And when they marry, as we said, that people tend to be so much under pressure that they might even date someone that they shouldn't be dating in the first place, and eventually marry them. And on the day of the wedding, you start piling some other pressure again. Okay, by this time, 9 months' time, we should be coming to your house to celebrate with you on the birth of your child.
Okay.
And it's so, I haven't put someone under one pressure. We're starting another pressure, the pressure of children.
Another one, yeah.
And I think I know what I'm talking about, because I was married for 16 years before children came. So it can be really tough on people.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
So maybe what we should be looking now is, how do we stop this? How do we stop pressuring people? And we're talking to all of us in this episode. We need to stop pressuring people. So what are they?
So the fact that you've got good intentions, or you genuinely love somebody, a member of the family, and you're asking them out of the concerns you have for them, doesn't make it right. So the receiver still feels, sometimes does feel pressured, even though you've got good intentions. So maybe the starting point, maybe just let's leave people alone. Yes, and let's look at some of the ways in which we can do this. So one of them would be leaving people alone.
Just leave them alone. Leave them alone.
And it means?
Leave people alone.
Just leave them alone.
Leave people alone. So even if you're tempted to say certain things, just to resist the temptation. If you're praying for people, we don't really need to tell people that I'm praying for you. And we don't need to use some of those words that we've highlighted earlier. It is well. Yours will come. Because those are subtle ways of pressuring people.
Yeah. So basically, you see somebody, you smile at them. If the thought comes into your mind about them not being married, you just kill it. So that's essentially what we're saying. Don't ask them those questions. Don't tell them you're praying for them. Don't ask them about their marital status. Just leave them.
Maybe a second one is to also respect people's choices. So some people may decide they don't want to get married yet, though you may think they are of marriageable age.
We tend to. I mean, if we see a lady who's 27, everybody thinks, oh, yeah, you're ripe enough, you're old enough. What are you waiting for?
So we should respect people's choices. Some people have seen certain guys that actually think they are not mature enough to marry yet.
So what age would these guys be?
I won't know exactly, but once people start working, we always tend to think that, okay, they have a nice job. What are you waiting for? They can buy a car. But some do think they're not mature enough. Maybe even 30. If they think they're not mature enough to marry, why do we want to force them or pressure them to marry? Then they will have problems later. So we should respect people's choices.
Yes, my tendency is to think, okay, at 30, what are you thinking of? You should be planning.
But that's pressuring people.
I suppose it is.
It's pressuring. So
I suppose. Not that I'll say it to them. I haven't said that to anybody. But if you ask me, I'll think, okay, 30.
No, it's still pressuring people. We should let people be. We've said that at the...
so I shouldn't even think that in my heart or in my mind.
Just kill the thoughts.
Okay.
Kill the thoughts. So
all right.
We should respect people's choices. And a third one is we should actually stop targeting single ladies. Because we do target them much more than
Yes,
young men.
I agree with you on this one, yeah. So comedians make jokes and, they tell jokes.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's
some single woman who's angry and rude and, what have you.
Who is trying to attract all the men in.
Yes,
and I think these things are not the right way to... And I think we target them a lot. And I've seen this in some places of worship, actually, where ladies are called to the front if they're not married yet, and because we want to pray for them.
So that's
and
humiliating.
It can be humiliating for people. So we should stop targeting.
So again, just leave people alone. That's again what it is. Leave people alone and respect people's choices essentially. So if somebody feels they're not mature enough. You may feel they've got the money, they've got the job, they've got the house, they've got everything.
They finish university.
Yes, and they should go for it. But they really feel in their hearts they're just not ready for it.
Yeah.
So let's respect their choices.
And some people want to travel the world first. We should respect that. Some people want to get somewhere in their chosen career first. Both men and women.
Absolutely.
We should respect those choices.
And sometimes people have just not found the right person. I've heard of men, gentlemen, who you think, oh, all the boxes look ticked, and then they come around and say, I haven't met the Mrs. Right. Somebody said that to me, that it took him quite a long time to meet the right person. So if somebody doesn't feel they've got the right person, why bother? Why just jump into it and go and marry the next lady down the road? So whatever you may feel, that a man is old enough, mature enough, he's got everything, or a lady for that matter, I think we should just respect people and also assume we don't, not assume actually, but to understand we don't know everything about somebody.
We don't have the full picture.
So even though somebody looks like, yes, they're right, they're ready, we don't know the full picture. So if they don't want to at this time, let's just leave them.
Okay, so we would like you to join us in this conversation. You can comment below. It's a major topic that probably a bit controversial, but we would like to hear your comments and your views about this.
Absolutely. If people are pressuring you, family, friends, let's know. Send us your comments. We'd like to discuss this. The whole idea is that we want to see this pressure stopped, and we want people to be able to make choices and enjoy their lives regardless of being married or not. Okay. Send us your comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much.